Hey guys, no fancy intro today. I woke up with a sty in my eye, so I figured instead of risking putting on makeup and filming what I was going to, I'm just going to keep the declutter train moving and go into getting rid of some of my blushes and my bronzers. This is where I store them, and I don't have like a gajillion, but I am running out of room and things are getting a little tight. I know I have things in here I'm not using. I also have some cream products down below, as well as some palettes that I think may qualify. I'm going to grab everything together and we will go back over to the desk where you guys can get a better view and better lighting. If you enjoyed this video while you're watching, please do go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and get into it. Alright guys, so here are all of my bronzers. Bronzers aren't something I collect frantically the same way I collect blushes. I have many more of those. I'd say I got into bronzing and contouring more over the past few years. Before that, I really only had one or two, so I don't have any that are super old except for this palette. I also meant to say too, in that organizer I showed earlier, I also had my highlighters. I'm going to do those in a separate video. I don't know if that's going to be next, or I may do my palettes next. Let me know below which one you want to see first. I'm going to go ahead and start with these. I'm going to start with the palettes first. This one is so dirty. This is in my 20 in 2020 project pan, so I am not decluttering this one. Next, I have the Shade and Light palette from Kat Von D. I believe the packaging has been updated since I purchased this one. It's been, I'd say I purchased it about 6 years ago if I had to guess. I feel like this palette was the standard for contouring. Everybody had it, everybody was using it, and I think it's one of the products that gave Kat Von D her name before, you know, what happened with Kat Von D. I haven't reached for this, I'd say, in at least a year and a half. It's been a while, and really when I did, this was the only shade that I used. You can see there's a little bit of a divot there. I've barely touched the other two. I would use these sometimes as shadows, and these up top, I never really use those either. So this one I am definitely decluttering. Getting into the cream products next. I talked about both of these recently in my 5 from 5 video. The Milk bronzer, this is the matte bronzer in the shade Baked, and then also Fenty Beauty's Amber Stick. I'll swatch both of them. This one, the only thing I don't like is this top. It gets so messy, and every time I take it off, I get product underneath my nail, but I'm afraid to get rid of it. I'm afraid it might dry out if I do that. And then the Fenty one, and this one is the contour stick. I love this bronzer because I can easily build it up, and then same thing goes for this contour. I mentioned in both of those videos that both of these products I usually have to build up and apply them twice, but I prefer that. I love both of these despite how messy this one is. And if you guys have tried this and you've taken off the cap, let me know if it does dry out, because if so, I can discard this. It looks so gross. Next, and this one really saddens me to say, this is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I wear mine in the shade Light. I think they make a few different shades. I've literally had this open for, you can see it's breaking as I'm talking. I've had this open for maybe a month. These crack and break so quickly. Either way, this is being decluttered. I talked about recently in my lipstick declutter video how Wet n Wild is no longer considered cruelty-free to some standards. Same thing goes for Physicians Formula because they are sister companies. I would hold on to it just because it's new, but when products aren't cruelty-free, I don't feel comfortable showing them on my channel, and I know it's not going to get a lot of use for that reason. So this is getting decluttered. Next, and this is one of my favorite bronzers. This is from Too Faced. It is the Milk Chocolate Bronze. I've had this for maybe a year and a half. It's another very light one that I can build up, and it never ever looks orange. Plus it smells like chocolate. I can smell it from here. This one looks just so pretty on the skin. It never looks patchy or too powdery, so I'm definitely keeping this one. I have two here from ColourPop. I purchased these when I did a full face of using ColourPop products for the first time. That was within, I'd say, the first 6 months of me starting my channel, and I have come to really love ColourPop. Except for these bronzers, I never reach for them. I believe this one, just because it's the lighter shade, is the one that I used in that video. This one, I don't know if I've ever reached for. I've still gouged a nail into it at some point. I want to see if I can take these out so I can tell you the shade names. So this one is called Spectacle, and then this one is called Private Party. I'm tempted to hold on to both of these just because how little I've used them, but I've had them for that long. I mean, it's been at least a year since I've reached for them, so I'm gonna declutter both of these. Next, I have one from Milani that I used in a recent video. I used this one in my Drugstore Version 3. It is the Silky Matte 01 Sunlight Bronzer. I love the way the pan looks. It's so pretty. It looks like a little sunburst. I only used this the one time in that video and I did enjoy it, so I'm keeping this one. This is probably the oldest bronzer in my collection. I'm actually pretty sure it is. This is the Park Avenue Princess from Tarte. I know this isn't the full size. I think I maybe got this through a gift with purchase, and this is old. I'm gonna swatch it anyway, even though I know I'm decluttering it. It's definitely shimmery. Even if it weren't old, I don't think I would reach for that. I'm not a big fan of shimmery bronzers. I like matte bronzers, so that one is going. And then the last bronzer I have is the Rosewood bronzer from ABH. I like this bronzer, but I would never reach for it for some reason. I feel like maybe it's because it can get a little patchy. I'm gonna have to use it with other products to see how it performs because I can't really remember my thoughts on it. It is also not that old. I maybe bought it about 6 months ago. It has a really pretty warmth to that. I'm gonna set it aside. I have a box below my vanity that's for future videos, things that I wanna use. So I'm gonna put that in that box so I can remember to use it. I'm gonna get into blushes next, where those choices are going to be a lot harder and I may be a little more indecisive. And here are all of my cream blushes. Let's start with the Flower Beauty ones. You guys know I'm not getting rid of these. These are my favorite cream blushes. The way they perform, they go on so flawlessly over other cream products, over other powder products, surprisingly. They never break up my makeup, which I found has happened with other cream blushes that I have used in the past. I have 3 different shades. I believe they make 6 different ones. I will put a dot of each on my hand so you guys can see the shades. And then I'm gonna just blend them out. Just like last time, they're probably gonna run into each other a little bit. This is Nectar, Melon, and Pinched. Pinched is a little bit harder to see. That one I usually apply 2 coats of. Same thing for these. I like how easily I can build them up. I usually start with 3 dots throughout my cheek area and then build up one more time if I want more intensity. If I had to get rid of every single cream product in my collection, this is the one thing or 3 things I would keep. I would love to try the other 3 colors as well. They're absolutely beautiful. Next, I have 2 Glossier Cloud Paints. I did a video testing out Glossier products. I think I tested them out for about 6 weeks before I gave my full thoughts and opinions on them. I have 2 of the Cloud Paints. I have Beam and then I also have Dusk, I believe it's called. After discovering the Flower Beauty ones, I never reached for them. And I remember giving these a positive review initially, but I just love the other formula so much better. So I am going to make myself get rid of one of these. I'm going to swatch these the same way so I can see what is most similar to one of the Flower Beauty ones and I can get rid of it. I know it's pretty hard to see these products, but I think I'm going to get rid of Dusk. I think I can just stick with the Flower Beauty Pinch shade. And then I have these 2 from Milk. One is just a baby size. This is the Rally shade. And then I also have Work. I'm gonna swatch these. I don't reach for these very much. As much as I love the cream matte bronzer, same thing, I've kept on the lid. Like I was saying, as much as I love that bronzer, I never ever reach for these. And part of it is just the mess. I think I got this one in a little Try Me kit from Milk that had a bunch of different products. I've had this for a while. Had to check. They both still smell like Play-Doh, which is the normal scent. I actually think I'm going to keep just the mini size. That tone is really pretty, and I think that's something I can pair with a lot of looks. I'm going to have to put it in my top drawer where I keep the products I love the most and products that I'm trying to remember to use. This shade, though, I don't see myself reaching for very often, and I think there's some glitter in it. And the last cream product that I almost forgot about is from Kaja. This is one of the Cheeky stamps, and I have mine in the shade Bossy. You have your blush on the bottom, and then that twists off. And you have the top. Let me see if this is dried out at all. My sponge is getting pretty gross, but it's all right. Probably would blend out differently on my face than it is there. I'm getting rid of this. I never reach for it. I think it's drying out. I fell into the gimmicky trap of this one. I will say though, if you haven't tried the little Bento Shimmer Trio eyeshadows from Kaja, those are absolutely stunning. Next, I'm gonna grab all the things that are duos or palettes. These two are looking a hot mess, but these are my two Hourglass palettes. This is the Ghost Edit that came out for this holiday of 2019, and then I have the Ambient Edit Volume 4. Was this 2017 or 2018? I can't remember, but I love both of these. This one I reach for a little bit more. I use these blushes all of the time though. It really doesn't look like it. You get a decent amount of product in here, even though the pans do look smaller. I also really enjoy this bronzer. It's these three on the top that I don't reach for as much, but I'm definitely keeping this one. And same thing goes for this quad. I'll swatch them very quickly, although they don't look the same on the hand as they do on the cheek. And that's the 4 shades from the Ghost Edit Quad. Again, I'm keeping that one. I treasure both of these in my collection. And then I have 2 duos from Jouer. This one I've had the longest. This is the Adore Blush duo. The 2 shades are Adore Me and Hold Me. And then I also have the Rose Gold one, Rose Petal and Marigold. I love both of these, and the packaging is just stunning on these. These are gonna hang around for a while. Next, I have one of the Cover FX monochromatic blush duos. These were just on sale for 21 Days of Beauty, and they went so fast. I was so bummed. I was trying to get 1 or 2 more. I have mine in the soft peach shade. I like to put it on top of there. It's kind of like a blush topper. I think the other 2 shades that I wanted to pick up, I believe it was called Warm Honey and then also Pink Dahlia. Even though they aren't going to be half off anymore, I am considering picking up another one of them. Needless to say, that's sticking around. And then I have this from ABH. I believe I got this on sale through Ulta. This is the Peachy Love Blush Trio. I'll swatch all 3 of these. This one definitely has some shimmer in it, that light orangey shade. I don't reach for this very often, and I can't remember why. I'm going to have to also put this one in my top drawer so I remember to reach for it more. If I find myself not using this, then I will go ahead and declutter it. For now, I'm gonna hold on to it though, just because I haven't used it enough to decide. Oh, I forgot a cream blush. This one's from Milani. It's the Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush in Cheeky Coral. I also tried this out in my Drugstore Virgin 3 video, so I'm keeping this. I've only used it that one time. And then one blush I want to show on its own. This is from Laura Geller. This is the Baked Blush and Brighten in Peach Delight. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this was completely round and I've made a bit of a divot in it right there. This is also in my 20 in 2020 project pan, so this is going to hang around. I have this blush from Tarte. This is the Risque blush. Just like last time, I'm pretty sure I wore this one on my wedding day. I like the tone of it. I feel like they look a little chalky. Maybe they look a little powdery. I can't remember why I don't reach for this. I'm going to declutter it. I don't want to because I'm nostalgic and hold on to makeup like that, but I gotta do it. I don't reach for it. 2 blushes from Hourglass, Mood Exposure, and then Luminous Flush. They aren't going anywhere. I love my Hourglass blushes. They look so much more beautiful on the cheek. I always say these are more skin-like. They kind of just sink right into the skin and they just give the most beautiful luminosity to the skin. They are pretty pricey and that's the only reason I don't have every single one. I would love to collect them all. 2 blushes from Milani. This one I haven't used yet. I think it's called, yes, it's Romantic Rose. I plan on trying this out in a video soon. And then I also have the iconic Luminoso. This is so pretty. I wish I would have just purchased this one and not the one from Laura Geller. That one's fine, but I think I just like the shade of this one more. I love that peachy kind of tone. I'd love to try a couple more of this formula, so if you have a shade suggestion, let me know below, and then this one I will try out soon. I have one from Too Faced, and this one was in a project pan at some point. I got something on it stuck down here. This is called Love Flush Blush in How Deep Is Your Love. This was maybe in my first project pan or maybe my second one, and it has a baby pan. I've had this for maybe, I'd say 4 years now. It used to have this really adorable rabbit print on it. I know for sure it's not available at Ulta any longer where I did purchase it originally. I don't know if it's been discontinued altogether. Since ending that Project Pan, whenever I did do it, I haven't reached for this blush, and I think I am going to go ahead and declutter it. I have two from ColourPop. I have Get Laid as well as Holiday. I don't reach for these very often either. I think one of these is gonna have to go. I prefer peachy coral kinds of tones on my cheeks, so I think I'm gonna keep Get Laid, and then Holiday I'm going to declutter. Only a few left. I have one from Ebates. This is my last blush I have from Ebates, or bronzer. All of their blushes, bronzers, face powders, etc. are all magnetic, and then they fit into compacts. I've decluttered all of my compacts since I left the company. I gave them to an old coworker. Plum Fresco was a limited edition blush years ago. I'd say maybe 5 years ago. It was only available for a very short time. They didn't make enough, and it sold very well, so it sold out fast. Oh, score. I just realized I have two of these. I didn't even realize I had both. I think I'm going to declutter just the one with the big pan in it, and then maybe just use this one. It's been covered this whole time, so it's been safe. I haven't reached for this in a while. I always feel weird showing it on my channel just because it's not available. I have one from LA Girl. This is called Just Blush in Just Playful. I bought this for one of my drugstore virgin videos because of Taylor Wynn. She was raving about these. The packaging is so cute, and I do really like the tone of this. I don't remember to reach for it very often, but it looks so pretty. I'm gonna set this aside so that I can use it in a future video. And then two last ones, they're random ones. I have one from Flower Beauty. This is called Warm Hibiscus, and if I remember correctly, it is also shimmery. Do I want to keep it? It looks so pretty. I think it'll be really pretty for the spring, summertime. I think I'm going to hold on to this one and try it out a couple of times to see what my true thoughts are, because I can't really remember what it looks like on the cheek. And then the last blush, this is from Becca. It's one of their luminous blushes in the shade Blushed Copper. I know what you're thinking. There is no way you can wear that. If I put this on with a very fluffy brush and one that isn't too dense, it looks so pretty. There's a little bit of a pinkness that comes out. I really like to wear this one in the fall and winter. It's kind of hard to tell on my hand. I have used it in videos before as well. I love this blush, so I am not getting rid of it. I'm going to grab all the ones I am getting rid of though, and we will see a total tally. This just breaks up every time I touch it. So here's everything all together that I'm getting rid of. The blushes and the bronzers and contour palette. I'd say it was maybe a quarter of my collection. I would have to count to know. But for the blushes, I got rid of 7 products, and then 3 of them were cream. And then for bronzers, I got rid of 4 and then 1 contour palette. So not too bad. These were just taking up space, and now I have more room for when I am ready to purchase some more makeup. Let me know your thoughts on today's declutter. Would you have held on to one of these things, or would you have decluttered something else? Let me know down below. This is so awkward doing my outro with my hands. But anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, please do go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see me and more of my remarks, please go ahead and subscribe. I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon.